On one hand, there is a controversy that continues to loom about an alleged land scam in Ayodhya with regard to the Ram temple. And now, on the other hand, Prime Minister Narendra Modi holding a virtual review meeting with UP Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath on the Holy City's development plan. Yogi Adityanath, as the Chief Minister, presented the vision document for Ayodhya to the Prime Minister, who's also taking stock of the construction and the groundwork of the temple. According to sources telling India Today, Prime Minister described Ayodhya as a city that is etched in cultural consciousness of every Indian citizen. He also added that the city must be matched by futuristic infrastructure. Prime Minister has said that the way Lord Ram had the ability to bring people together, development work of Ayodhya should be guided by a spirit of healthy public participation. Now the meeting also holds significant. Why? It has come just months before Uttar Pradesh goes to assembly elections. Ram Temple, development of Ayodhya city is going to be the top focus for the BJP government, both at the centre and obviously in the state as well.
प्रधानमंत्री यूपी के मुख्यमंत्री और अधिकारियों के साथ राम मंदिर और अयोध्या डेवलपमेंट प्लान के बारे में बात करेंगे, विचार करेंगे। जब तक यूपी का चुनाव होगा, ये विचार जारी रहेगा। भारतीय जनता पार्टी जीएसटी पे चुनाव नहीं लड़ सकती, डिमोनेटाइजेशन पे नहीं लड़ सकती, कोविड पे नहीं लड़ सकती। चुनाव आते आते राम मंदिर का मसला फिर एक बार खड़ा हो जाता है।
सुप्रीम कोर्ट के आदेश की गाइडलाइन पर मंदिर का निर्माण हो रहा है। ट्रस्ट भी बना है। ट्रस्ट पर गंभीर आरोप लगे हैं प्रधानमंत्री जी को और योगी आदित्यनाथ जी को। पहले इस बारे में बताना चाहिए कि जो गंभीर आरोप लगे हैं, जो ट्रस्ट पर गंभीर आरोप लगे हैं, मंदिर का निर्माण तो सुप्रीम कोर्ट के आदेश पर हो ही रहा है, मगर जो गंभीर आरोप लगे उस पर भी योगी आदित्यनाथ जी को, प्रधानमंत्री जी को संज्ञान में लेना चाहिए।
हम ये कह रहे हैं कि प्रधानमंत्री जी के पास इस देश के लिए कोई प्लान नहीं है। क्या प्रधानमंत्री जी के लिए के पास जो प्लान है कि हमारे देश की किसान नीति क्या है? अभी भी किसान दिल्ली में बैठे हुए हैं। क्या प्रधानमंत्री जी को मालूम है कि हमारी स्वास्थ्य नीति का क्या प्लान है? मंदिर का मुद्दा सॉल्व हो चुका है। जो ट्रस्ट बना है वो अपना काम कर रहा है।
Poulomi Saha tracking the details of this meeting, very crucial, remember, with regard to Ayodhya, Ram Temple and, of course, assembly elections. Poulomi Saha now joins me. Poulomi, it is also very interesting because while this meeting and vision document is being discussed, on the other side is, of course, the land scam allegations and the sale of it. What are you picking up from the BJP? What is happening at the meeting?
Well, the meeting is over. This was a virtual meeting which was convened by, of course, the Prime Minister's office. The Prime Minister was present over there. The UP Chief Minister was present, as well as bureaucrats from the UP establishment and some of the state ministers who basically laid out a development plan for Ayodhya before the Prime Minister in terms of the vision document. An international agency, a consultancy, in fact, has been enlisted in order to prepare this vision document, which was presented by the Prime Minister. Now, what we learned from our sources within the government is that Prime Minister Modi, of course, said that the ethos of Ayodhya needs to be maintained, while, of course, planning in a very futuristic way about the development of the city in terms of its infrastructure as well, and make it a city which is both for tourists and pilgrims. He, of course, said that it should be a city by and for the people of the country. He said that as far as Ayodhya is concerned, the participation of the youth should be very crucial in terms of the development of Ayodhya. So the idea is to develop the city of Ayodhya, of course, in a major way in terms of a destination for tourists and pilgrims, both in terms of the road infrastructure, in terms of course, remember that UP Chief Minister has already said that funds have been allocated and the sanction has been, gotten from the centre for the development of an international airport in Ayodhya as well. So a holistic development of Ayodhya, but obviously the BJP is keeping a keen eye on moving these projects forward ahead of the UP elections, because it's going to be extremely crucial, especially because the BJP is eyeing the Brahmin vote, something which is said that a vote bank which is said to be a little upset with the Bharatiya Janata Party, despite the Bharatiya Janata Party building its foundation on that vote bank itself in the state of Uttar Pradesh. Not very happy. Jitin Prasada's induction was aimed in that direction, and they're hoping that the larger development of Ayodhya and the plans that the BJP has for Ayodhya will, of course, assuage the apprehensions of the community.
So, Poulomi Saha tracking Modi's mission Ayodhya, all the inside details and more. Thank you so much, Poulomi, for the latest. There is an ongoing agitation of several farmer protesters, but we are now being told that some protesters have been detained in Delhi for blocking the traffic and the roads, which also connect the borders of Uttar Pradesh, Delhi and Haryana. The farmers, remember, have been holding demonstrations today to mark the completion of 7 months of the protest against the union government's 3 farm laws. Large number of farmers in Panchkula were seen marching toward Governor's house in Chandigarh to submit a memorandum seeking repeal of the laws. Farmers have planned to gherao all houses of governors across the country as part of their widespread protest. Several tractors, trolleys with farmers from western Uttar Pradesh have already reached national capital. This is at the Ghazipur border, which joins UP and Delhi, to join the protest. The outfit, Samyukt Kisan Morcha, has said they would observe the day as Save Agriculture, Save Democracy Day. Meanwhile, intelligence agencies have alerted Delhi police. Why? Because they believe that a Pakistan-based ISI proxies may try to sabotage farmer protest. According to sources, ISI may try to hijack the protest by instigating specifically the deployed security personnel, and that may lead to a law and order situation. Farmers have been camping at the border since November last year, demanding to roll back the contentious 3 farm laws. Despite a looming threat of the 3rd COVID wave and a raging pandemic, farmers refuse to budge. They continue to remain on a war path against the centre's farm laws.
7 महीने हो गए आज। किस तरीके की तैनाती, किस तरीके की तैयारी है, क्या कुछ करने वाले आप लोग?
ये तो यहाँ पे आंदोलन है, ट्रैक्टर लेकर लोग आ रहे हैं, 2 जिलों के लोग हैं। दिल्ली का ट्रैक्टर रास्ता ना भूल जाए, इसलिए अपने ट्रैक्टर से ही आते हैं। कोई और तो साधन हमारे पे है नहीं।
तो आज क्या क्या तैयारियां हैं, किस तरीके से आंदोलन को
आज गवर्नर के यहाँ पे पूरे देश भर में ज्ञापन जाएगा, लोग अपना रोष मार्च निकाल लेंगे और उनको ज्ञापन देंगे। ये तैयारी है। यहाँ पे भी अपना मीटिंग चलेगी, जो मंच चलता है रूटीन में वो चलेगा।
सभी लोग जाएंगे या कुछ आपके जो लीडर्स हैं वो जाएंगे और आप भी जाएंगे?
नहीं, हम नहीं जा रहे। जो दिल्ली की यूनिट है वो जाएगी दिल्ली में, और अलग अलग जगह के लोग वहाँ पे जा रहे हैं। हम यहीं रहेंगे।
आप यहीं रहेंगे। 7 महीने हो गए, दिल्ली के तमाम बॉर्डर पर आप लोग बैठे हुए हैं, कहाँ देख रहे हैं आंदोलन को?
सरकार सुन नहीं रही, आंदोलन चल रहा, सरकार सुन रही। लोकतांत्रिक देश में, देश जब आजाद हुआ तो ये नहीं सोचा था कि अपने ही देश में, स्वतंत्र देश में इस तरह का फिर किसानों को आंदोलन करना पड़ेगा, ये नहीं सोचा था।
There's very heavy police deployment across the national capital today, especially in the civil lines area. Now the farmers today are wanting to march from their space and they want to come to the LG house. They want to give a memorandum to the LG. They want to talk about what all they want to do with regards to the ongoing protest. Most of the farmers now believe the time is right for them to up the ante on their protest, which has been going on for the past 7 months. There's very heavy police deployment very close to the LG house. Most of the leaders have now been detained. In fact, what police sources are telling us, there will be a couple of leaders who will be finalized, and they are the only ones who will be allowed to go and meet the LG and to present their memorandum. Viseshwara Paliwal reporting from the LG house with camera person Alok Das for India Today.
Former Maharashtra Home Minister Anil Deshmukh will not be appearing before the Enforcement Directorate today. Deshmukh's lawyer Jayawant Patil said they have submitted an application before the ED asking for further time. Now the ED will take a call on when to call Deshmukh next. ED summoned Deshmukh for questioning after late-night arrest of Deshmukh's personal secretary Sanjeev Palande and his personal assistant Kundan Shinde in the money laundering allegation case. The two will be produced in the special PMLA court today. Central Probe Agency is also conducting searches already at Deshmukh's residence in Nagpur and Mumbai. Sources have indicated to India Today that Enforcement Directorate officials found a money trail a money trail of about 4 crore rupees that was extorted from around dozen bar owners and restaurants and then was collected by the dismissed Mumbai cop Sachin Vaze. So it is clearly a trail from top to bottom. It is learnt that the money was then diverted to Deshmukh, the former minister, through some shell companies owned by Deshmukh's close relatives. Earlier in March, former Mumbai Police Commissioner Parambir Singh had levelled corruption charges against Anil Deshmukh, the then minister. In a letter to Chief Minister Uddhav Thackeray, he alleged that Deshmukh had ordered former Assistant Officer Sachin Vaze to collect 100 crore rupees every month from bars and restaurants across the state.
सर, आज इंक्वायरी के लिए नहीं आएंगे क्योंकि उन्होंने जो समन्स दिया था, लेकिन जो एक्सप्लेनेशन चाहिए था उनको, वो डॉक्यूमेंट्स अब तक हमें नहीं दी गई। इसके लिए हमने लेटर दिया है बाकायदा, जिसमें हमने डिमांड किया है कि आप हमको वो सब केस के बारे में जो जो आपको रिक्वायरमेंट्स है या क्वेश्चंस है उसका हमको डॉक्यूमेंट्स फर्निश किए। अकॉर्डिंगली वी विल फर्निश आवर रिटर्न डिटेल सबमिशन। समय का वैसे कुछ नया जो अपीयरेंस दिया और लेटर दिया, वो
समय की डिमांड की है वो पूछ रहे हैं।
नो, लेटर में खाली हमने समय मांगा, जो उनके प्रोसीजर से जो होगा वो हमको।
वादे वसूली गैंग मामले में वादे के 100 करोड़ के कलेक्शन में संजीव पालांडे और कुंदन शिंदे ये अनिल देशमुख की सहायता करते थे, मनी लॉन्ड्रिंग में इन्वॉल्व हुए। इसके कारण दोनों की कल देर रात गिरफ्तारी हुई। मुझे विश्वास है आने वाले कुछ दिनों में अनिल देशमुख भी गिरफ्तार होंगे।
अभी कल हमने देखा है कि उनके घर पर, उनके कार्यालय पर जो रेड्स हुए हैं, उनको जो एक निराशा विफलता से आई है, सरकार नहीं बना पाई। तो पवार साहब का जो कहना है वो सही है। महाराष्ट्र की जांच एजेंसी भी बहुत अच्छी तरह से काम कर सकती है, आपको मालूम है, किया भी। लेकिन शिवसेना के मंत्री हो, शिवसेना के विधायक हो, एनसीपी या कांग्रेस के विधायक हो, सबको इस प्रकार से लपेटने का काम चल रहा है, लेकिन हम भी देखेंगे।
So a background now, what precisely is this extortion case involving a former minister? Let's take a look. It actually started last year in March 2020. That is when the top cop in Mumbai, Parambir Singh, accuses Deshmukh, then minister, of running a possible extortion case, a very serious allegation against a minister. Few days later, Parambir Singh files a PIL seeking a CBI investigation against Deshmukh, and clearly then it gets taken up. Maharashtra government forms a panel to probe Singh's charges, because these are charges that couldn't have been ignored, of extortion. On April 5, a month later, Bombay High Court orders the Central Bureau of Investigation to finish the investigation in the next 15 days. The process begins. What happens next? Maharashtra Home Minister Anil Deshmukh resigns surrounding the charges against him. Supreme Court rejects Deshmukh's plea against the High Court order and clearly stays defiant. The CBI now questions the former minister, who has now resigned, and that questioning went on for about 7 hours. Just a few days later, April 24th, CBI starts to raid the residences of former Minister Anil Deshmukh and files a first information report. On May 11th, Enforcement Directorate then registers a money laundering case against Deshmukh, and then that is when the raids and further probe begins. Enforcement Directorate starts to raid on June 25th, which is today, with the residences in Mumbai and Nagpur. Now, it's not just restrained to the raids anymore. ED decided to take into arrest 2 people, Deshmukh's personal assistant and secretary, and that happened today, and they will now be soon produced at the PMLA court in just a short while Deshmukh refusing to come out and arrive for the summons. As former Home Minister of Maharashtra Anil Deshmukh did not appear to the Enforcement Directorate, ED will again issue fresh summons to Anil Deshmukh. He will be called for questioning next week. ED sources have maintained that his personal assistant Kundan Shinde and secretary Sanjeev Palande were part of the alleged money laundering nexus. Kundan Shinde allegedly accepted cash from Sachin Vaze, the officer in the police in Mumbai, and other people. Pankaj Upadhyay, my colleague, has been tracking all the latest from Mumbai. And Pankaj, the fact that this is such a bizarre chain trail, a former minister, a top cop, extortion of about 100 crore rupees from across bar owners and restaurants, how is the Enforcement Directorate taking this further if the minister refuses to come?
Well, Anil Deshmukh was summoned today. He was to appear before the Enforcement Directorate officials at 11 a.m. But then he did not appear. Instead, his lawyers came with an application, and his lawyers have maintained that they have demanded certain documents from the Enforcement Directorate so that they can have written submissions in front of the ED when they meet next. We asked the lawyers whether they have asked for extension of the time, to which the lawyers said that this is the discretion of the Enforcement Directorate. What they have submitted in their application is that they need the documents so that they can present written submissions. So what we are learning now is next week, in all likelihood, the ED is again going to issue fresh summons to Anil Deshmukh. He will have to appear one way or the other in front of the Enforcement Directorate. Interestingly, what the ED sources are saying that this new raids and searches that they conducted in Mumbai and Nagpur at several places are based on fresh evidence that they have collected. Yes. Now, ED believes that there's an entire coterie that was working behind this extortion. And that is the reason not just Anil Deshmukh's PA and PS have been targeted, but we are also learning that several chartered accountants and also business people believed to be close associates of Anil Deshmukh have been questioned, not just in Mumbai but Nagpur as well.
And that is what is shocking. You know, this is what, when a resident of Mumbai or a resident there in Maharashtra watching all this, listening to this, to know there was an extortion racket going on between police personnel and also ministers, absolutely shocking with the corruption allegations for now that are on. Thank you, Pankaj, for all the latest on this. After Prime Minister Narendra Modi's meeting with all the parties of Jammu and Kashmir, Gupkar alliance parties, the parties from Kashmir based specifically, they are still adamant on the restoration of Article 370. Former Chief Minister of Jammu and Kashmir, Omar Abdullah, had said that Mehbooba Mufti and Farooq Abdullah pointed it out clearly that it took 70 years for the Bharatiya Janata Party to succeed in their agenda of abrogation of Article 370. He's also added that we will not back off from our mission to continue to ask and restore for Article 370 and will be approaching court, which the matter currently sub judice, even if it takes us 70 weeks, 70 months or more time. Mehbooba Mufti has now, in an exclusive conversation with India Today TV, said she will not contest elections until Article 370 is restored. Mehbooba Mufti has added that she told Prime Minister categorically during the meeting that talks with Pakistan are unavoidable and that India should hold talks with Pakistan when required.
हमने कोई ऐसी बात नहीं की जो गुपकार अलायंस के एजेंडा के बाहर रही हो और साफ अल्फाजों में वज़ीर आज़म साहब के सामने न सिर्फ महबूबा मुफ्ती साहिबा ने, फारूक साहब ने भी ये कहा ना बीजेपी को 70 साल लगे अपना 370 को हटाने का एजेंडा कामयाब कराने में। हमें अगर 70 हफ्ते 70 महीने या जितना टाइम लगेगा हम अपने मिशन से पीछे नहीं हटेंगे।
So what did former Chief Minister of Jammu and Kashmir Mehbooba Mufti say about restoring Article 370? Listen in.
I really want to understand, you say you went to the Prime Minister and told him about the sufferings of the people of Jammu and Kashmir. But clearly the government of India has its own view on Jammu and Kashmir. You had said that you expected statehood to be given to Jammu and Kashmir, that election should be held. None of those commitments presumably have been made. Has the centre made any commitments?
Please let me make it very clear. I did not come here for the sake of elections or statehood. My only agenda was to come and tell them, please take some confidence building measures if you are really serious about दिल की दूरियां मिटाने की बात करना चाहते हैं आप. Jammu Kashmir has become an open air prison. People are being punished even for opening their mouth. Journalists ho, common men ho, a mother is goes around from place to place to look around for her son's grave, who happens to be a militant. So what? He is killed now. She has to go around from village to village. A father is waiting for the dead body of his son for last 6 months and he was slapped with UAPA for doing that.